Well, hello, friends. Real quick before we kick off the episode, I have to let you know about something exciting. I am seriously considering having an upgraded version of this podcast where you get bonus episodes and exclusive content. But here's the deal, I'm trying to decide what that content and those episodes should be. I do have some ideas, and I was wondering if you could vote really quick and tell me what you think about what would entice you, what would be interesting to you to get as bonus episodes on this podcast. For example, deeper dives into topics. Maybe I'm answering questions that many of you ask about starting or growing a business. Maybe even overhearing coaching calls, something like this. It would be a paid, upgraded version of this podcast, not very expensive at all, probably just a handful of dollars a month, but it be extra content for you to help you along your journey. My whole goal is to help you build your business dream. And I would love to offer you even more because some of you are asking for it. So if you could just look down in the show notes right now, there's two ways you can give me your answers. Number one, I have a Google form with 5 quick questions. It can be anonymous. You just answer them and vote on what would be interesting to you. Or number two, I have a voice memo system. You can just click it and you could just leave a voice memo with your phone right now and just record it and tell me what kind of topics, what things would be interesting to you behind the scenes, market news, what would be things that would be extra that would be really valuable to you. So thank you all so much. Okay, on to the episode.
Well, hello, this is Kimberly Brock, and for over 20 years, I've been running my own businesses that have not only been profitable, but personally fulfilling to me. So now I'm on a mission to help other new business owners just like you make money doing what you love too. Now we're going to have some fun, so let's get started.
Well, hello, this is Kimberly. It's episode 130, and I am so glad that you are here today because there are so many of you out there who have a full-time job or even a part-time job, and you're wondering, should I just quit this job and go ahead and start my business? How do I do this? This is super confusing. Do I just go all in and quit now, or do I wait this out? So today I'm going to give you 5 questions to ask yourself and even a free download so you can print this out if you want to look at this, okay? And map it out yourself. But I am so excited that you are here. If you are new, welcome. This podcast, I have no doubt, is going to help you along your business journey. Whether you are in the idea stage or just starting to grow, this is for you. Make sure you get plugged in right now. So the first way to get plugged in is to continue to listen to this podcast because it will help you, okay? Hit the subscribe button up at the top, whether it's the plus or follow button, hit that, okay? Now, I have a free Facebook group for you too to get plugged in. Do that today. Get in my free Facebook group. It's called Women Starting Businesses, Doing What We Love. All you have to do is scroll down right now. You can click the link and you've got to answer a few questions. Make sure you answer the quick questions or you're going to be in a holding pattern until you answer the questions, okay? And then I can approve you and let you in the group. It's super fun. So many supportive women who can help you along your journey too. And I have some free downloads for you, a 16-step checklist. If you're starting your business, I've got a business idea guide. It's called an Ikigai guide. Yes, it's a lot. You get a lot of free stuff when you get here. You get a lot of party favors, as I like to call them. So make sure you get plugged in, get the goodies, read down below in the show description, in those notes, okay, whatever your app you're listening in, and the links will be there, okay? And so if you've been a loyal listener, I want to thank you so much. You all are so kind and just always have the nicest things to say. I get emails, I get DMs, I get people posting in the group about how much this podcast has helped them. And literally it means the world to me because I sit here alone looking out a window while I'm talking and no one's here to experience it. No one's applauding. No one's telling me, yes, that helped me. That's good information. So it's really awesome when I do get that. So if you have never taken time to rate this podcast, if you've been listening and you just have never just taken 20 seconds to hit the 5-star rating, if you're in Apple Podcasts or in another player, I don't know that Spotify has ratings, but Apple does. And then if you could just leave a review, it would just warm my heart. So I appreciate that so much. Okay, on to the episode. Well, hello, everyone. How are you? How is everything going in your business? I hope it's going amazing. I'm so excited for all of you making so much progress. I love to watch your posts in our Facebook group. where we have the like imperfect action Monday. We have the wins on Wednesdays. I love seeing what you're doing. So make sure you post them because I read them and I may even comment on yours because I just love to know what you're doing and the progress that you're making. Nothing makes me happier. Okay. So today we're talking about a very important topic, and it's about you deciding, should I quit my job now? Should I quit it later? What do I do? Do I burn the boat basically and like quit my job and say I'm out of here and then just pursue my business and I'll be under the gun and I'll work super hard? Well, yeah, that's great. But there's repercussions of that. There's good and bad of that. The other option is to build your business on the side while you're still working. Okay. Which is great because then you lessen the risk. Okay. You do things on the side to build up your clientele base so that when you quit, it can be a smoother transition and you don't go to zero money. Like you'll actually have some money coming in. This is a big question and nobody knows the right answer. Let's just be real about it. Like there's no right answer. So know that. Okay. The right answer is the one that's best for you after you've thought it through logically. The only right answer is the best answer for you after you have thought it through logically and intelligently. Okay, so that's what I want you to do today. I just want you to think through these 5 questions. I've got 5 questions here posed before you so you can have a come to Jesus meeting with yourself and for once and for all figure this out. So we just don't keep debating this because I get this question all the time. People ask me, I've had people DM me, I've had people tell me this in person, I've had people email me, okay, people that aren't my clients or even in any of my groups or anything, but they'll hear me say, you can email me if you want to email me because I'd love to hear, what you're struggling with, right? And so this is a big deal, but I want to help you today for all of you that are pondering this and losing sleep over it and just suffering angst over this topic of should you quit your full-time job or even part-time job for that matter, right? Should you do that right now? Here are the questions that you need to ask yourself, and you can print it. There'll be a link below so you can print this out below. I'll probably do a Google Doc and then maybe upload a PDF as well. And so that you can choose whatever, like if you like to type and you want to write it on a Google Doc, or if you want to print it so you can use a pen or pencil and write it in and ponder it. Okay. So you can get that free download. So here is the first question to pose to yourself today if you're debating whether you quit your part-time or full-time job and get this business going. Number 1, the first question is, and do not pass go until you answer this question. On a 1 to 5 scale, with 5 being the most, how miserable are you at your job on a 1 to 5 scale? So 5 is you're like totally miserable. Like you're like over it. You're like done and you like want to quit. Okay. Or is it like a 1 where you're like, no, I like it, or it's good money. It's great. I'm not that miserable. Now, money comes into play because I've had some people who say I'm making $30,000 a year. I've had people say I'm making 90 something thousand a year. I've had people over 100K. They're making 6 figures and they're like, do I quit? When do I quit? And I can't answer that for you, but I can definitely pose these questions. But the biggest factor is, how miserable are you at this job? Because if you are a 5, you are probably going to want to quit sooner than later, and you better get your booty in gear and get this thing rolling. Okay. I've had one-on-one clients be completely miserable at their job, and that's why they hired me, because they're like, I got to get this thing going now. What all do I need to do? What tools do you recommend? What do I need to do? I need to do it now. Right. So how miserable are you? And what are you miserable about? Are you miserable about the pay? Are you miserable about your boss? Are you miserable about what you're doing? Are you miserable about all of that? Like, what is it? Okay. So you have to think about that. Like, how miserable are you? Because that determines what you do next. If you're super miserable, if you're a 5, then I would say you may want to quit soon. However, money doesn't just grow from trees, and building a business is hard. Okay. So here's what you're going to do. After you figure out the how miserable you are factor, you could think about a date that you want to quit ahead of you. Okay. So like, think about right now, if you're working, you're super miserable, go ahead and set a date 60 days out. Like, I'm going to quit my job in 60 days. Instead of quitting tomorrow, maybe you could quit in 60 days, and that would give you 60 days to get yourself going stat. Like, get this thing up and running. Okay. So however miserable you are may depend on when you can quit or when you want to quit, and you can set a date. One of my clients did that when I got on with her in coaching. She said, I'm quitting. And it was like 30 days or something. And I was like, wait, what? And like, oh my gosh, like it just scares me. Okay. Because I haven't been in that position. So it just scares me a little bit. So how miserable are you? And whatever that comes to, think about when you could quit. If you're not that miserable, maybe you give yourself 6 more months to work, 9 more months, a year. You could set it out. It's kind of like people with retirement. They plan. My husband keeps dreaming of retirement. I'm like, listen, you have a freshman in college. Yes, your senior in college is about to graduate and get off the payroll. But let's not forget, you have a 7th grader who's in competitive dance. We have a lot of bills to pay over the next year. So please don't retire yet, because I'm having so much fun in my business and I'm making money too, but I don't want all the pressure. I do not want all the pressure. So think about it with your job. Could you set a date and mark it on the calendar tonight and say, in 90 days, I'm quitting this job because I don't like it. Or I'm going to make myself get committed to building this business. Now, don't do something you can't follow through with, meaning don't put the date up there and then you put in your, 2 weeks notice or whatever before that, and you really haven't done anything to start your business, and you know that you're the type that's going to just Netflix and chill all the time, and you're not going to be working on your business, and you're not going to do it. Don't put yourself up against a wall if you know you're the person that doesn't react well to that. There's some people, they know that. Like my son's like that. If he knows he has to do something, oh my goodness, like doing it. Okay, y'all, I talk about him all the time because he's just funny like that. And I love to share him as an example. I'm kind of scared that if I set that, did I do everything? I don't know. I guess it depends how under the gun you are. I don't know. It depends on your personality. So think about that, okay? How miserable are you on that 1 to 5, and then determine a date and maybe put that on the calendar as a goal where you could quit. Okay, the second thing is, can my family survive? That's the next question. Can I survive? And your family may be you and your cat, or it may be you and a sibling, or you and an elderly parent, or you and a husband and kids, or you and a partner. I mean, I don't know what your situation is. Maybe you're a single parent, right? But can your family pay the bills if you don't have a job or an income for 6 months? Like, could you survive? Because the reality is a lot of new business owners do not make money in the beginning, depending on how they set up their business, what they're offering, right? There's a whole bunch of factors that go into that, and coaching and stuff. I can talk people through that, but there's a lot that goes into it. So just ask yourself, what if I didn't even make money for a year? Could we survive? Like if I didn't actually turn a profit or wasn't able to pay myself, could I do this? Could my family pay the electric bill, pay our Netflix bill, pay our cell phone bill, which is now outrageous? Y'all, my phone bill is just going up and up. What is going on? Anyways, I need to maybe switch or something. But can you pay the bills? So you have to figure that out. Okay. And here's what you can do about it. So like the first one, I said, how miserable are you? What you can do to help that is set a date of when you could leave. Okay. So this one, number 2, can my family survive? Can I survive? Can I pay the bills? This is what you're going to do about it. You're going to do the math. If you've never done the math, start adding up. Here's my Netflix. Here's my cell phone. Here's electric bill. Start doing the math. If you've never done that, you need to do the math right now. If you don't think you can survive, then now's the time to crunch the numbers. Open a Google sheet and start doing that. Okay. Okay. Number 3, is my business idea worth quitting a job over? Y'all, this is huge. Some people have ideas and ideas and ideas. I'm kind of one of those people. I have ideas out the wazoo all the time. Like I come up with a bazillion ideas. Now, I'm not stopping what I'm doing, but I have ideas for this business all the time. It comes into my head and it won't stop. It won't go away. So some of you are like that, okay, too. And you've got to not be impulsive, and you have to be able to think this through. Is this a valid business idea? Make sure people will pay for what you want. And I have a way to help you. Like if you need help with this, if you don't know how to figure out or validate your idea, I actually have a best business idea workshop, and I've had it for a while. I'm actually re-recording it as we speak, not right this minute, but during this week, next week, and I hope to have it done within a couple of weeks, and I'll have a fresh new version of the best business idea workshop, which helps you work through helps you work through different types of businesses, and then helps you through the validation process. Okay. It's an inexpensive workshop, but it'll just help you kind of sort this out. It will make you feel better about this decision about this business. And the cool thing is you can use it for any and every idea that you ever have. So you can always revisit it and go back through the validation tool and make sure that it is a valid idea. But you have to ask yourself, is this really a win? Is this something crazy that like you don't even know right now if people will want to buy this? Like you need to know that before you quit a job, okay? You'd be surprised. Some people have these grandiose plans and visions of quitting their job. They really don't have a good nailed down business idea yet. So I would say until you have a really good business idea, please don't quit your job. I mean, that's my opinion. That's purely my opinion. But I say don't do it because it can change. Your idea can change, okay? And most people's ideas sort of evolve, okay? Sort of, maybe not, but maybe how you offer it evolves. Maybe it's the core same thing, but it evolves, okay? Okay. So again, let's review. I'm going to keep reviewing these. Number 1, how miserable am I? Scale of 1 to 5, and then set a date on your calendar where you could quit, depending on how miserable you are. You can set a sooner date if you're totally miserable. You could set a longer date if you're not that miserable. Okay. Number 2, can I pay the bills? So what's the remedy for this? You're going to do the math on a spreadsheet. You're going to mark out all your bills and how much money you need to make. Okay. Number 3, is this idea a good one? Make sure you validate it. Make sure people will pay for it. And if you need help with that, I have the best business idea workshop that you can watch. It's me on video. I walk you through it. It's a guide. You can map it out, and then you'll get a whole Google sheet that's going to help you with the validation process. Okay. Okay. Number 4, what are all the things that I need to do to get this business going, whether I started on the side or full time? Okay. What are all the things that I would need to do? And I would prioritize what are the things that I would need to do now if I started it part-time? Like if I kept my job and I just did this on the side, like as a side hustle, what are those things? Because those are going to be the most important things. And then what's everything else? And wait, there's more. I do have a mini business plan workshop. So it's a workshop to help you create a mini business plan. So if you don't know how to sort through all the things that you're going to need, if you don't really understand how to cover all the bases, I have a whole workshop for you for that and a plan so you can map it out on, even have it where you, at the end, you have a 1-pager that maps out this whole dream of yours onto a business plan. You can start working out all the costs and what this would entail to turn this big dream of yours into a business, okay? Based on what you know right now, because you don't know everything right now, but what you do know, you need to get onto a plan. So you need to know what all this is going to cost and what this is going to entail. Again, I have the business plan workshop ready for you right now. You can start it today. So I'll put the link below, okay? The 5th question that you need to ask yourself is, what support do I have or will I have? What resources do I have to learn? And what will I have once this thing is going? Okay, once I start going. So think it through right now. Okay, you've got this podcast. That's a great resource. You may have friends or family or neighbors or someone you know that would be willing to talk to you about starting a business. Before I started this coaching business, and y'all know this, that I thought about opening a facial spa in my area, okay? Ended up not doing it. Thank you, Lord. That was the end of 2019. Y'all, I was going to be building it in 2020. Thank you, Lord, that I didn't do it. I just got scared. I got scared and I backed out. It felt like way too much money. It was going to be like $500,000, 2 years before profit and the whole thing. And I just thought, you know what? The location that I could afford, I think, that would be good for it, just didn't have enough foot traffic. And I thought, I just don't think this is going to be super successful. Anyway, so I didn't do it. But in the meantime, I was calling a girl that owned a bakery. Somebody knew her that owned a bakery here that opened it up. And she was on like one of those Food Network bake-offs or whatever you call them. I don't even know what the Cupcake Wars. She was on Cupcake Wars. That's what she was on. And she owned a local bakery here. And so anyways, talked to her a long time about what it was like to own her business. I looked into even maybe like a franchise, like those blow dry bars where they blow dry your hair and style it. I even looked at one of those franchises, talked to someone else about that. I talked to all kinds of people. So you should be doing that too. So I talked to people. I had audiobooks. I did this. And then I got one-on-one coaching right in the beginning. So I was like, I gotta do this quick. I need to get this thing going. And I got into a podcast program to learn just how to get my podcast up and going and starting to learn how to talk on the microphone. And so I bought that. I had coaching for 8 weeks straight, once a week from a great coach. I did all kinds of things, but I had to pay for help. I mean, that's just the reality. I don't think there's many successful business owners that never got help, that never had to pay for any kind of help. So I just want you to think about that you're going to need help, okay? Get as much free help as you can. I'm all for that. I mean, I'm totally frugal and all that kind of thing, but I know when to spend my money. And I would like to say most of the time. I've definitely wasted some money, and I have bought a few courses and been in a few programs that were not worth the money. But that's a whole nother story, and I'm not going to bash anyone on here or any program on here. But I've wasted my money too. So you got to be smart. And that goes back to being a discerning business owner. We all fail. None of us are perfect. And we get impulsive and we buy things and maybe we don't need them. And just like when we go shopping and, everything. But my point is that you're going to need help, whether it's friend, family, someone online, a coach like me who would love to help you. I would absolutely be so honored to help you. And you can click a link below if you want to do like a free consult call. And we can just talk this through real quick and just see if I can even help you or not. I will be honest. I refer people out a lot. Okay. So another option is I have Grow Getters, and I made it for people like you so that you have a home base. You can make decisions in your business. You have a safe place to talk about maybe you need to buy a course or what should you do. And then you can learn all the basics of business through my Grow Getters program. And I have live trainings in there each month. I have trainings in the whole library there in the hub and just everything to help you get rolling, right? So if it's not me, it's got to be somebody helping you, okay? You can't do this alone. If you start at part-time, then you're probably going to need to pay for help because otherwise it's going to be super slow and steady, okay? Because you only have part-time hours to work on it. If you burn the boat and you are like, oh my gosh, I've just quit. I put in my 2 weeks notice, I'm starting a business. You better get help. Because you better speed this up if you want the money to come sooner than later. So someone can just tell you, whether it be in an hour coaching or in a Grow Getters program like mine, or some type of program like mine, group coaching, you have got to speed this up. You've got to make money sooner than later. But if you have the luxury, you've got all the money in the world, but you've got all the time in the world, you quit your job and you're like, I'm fine. I can live on this for a long time. I kind of know what I'm doing. I'll just research all the time. I'll listen to all free podcasts. You can probably get a lot of information. And I'm not going to lie. You're going to be able to find a lot of information for free and you can do it. It's just, what is that worth to you? Is that worth your time or not to try to research it on your own? And then you have to ask yourself, do I even know if what I'm doing is effective? And that's what I try to help you do in Grow Getters so that I can give you feedback on your website. Get your email list going. Look at what you're doing. Have some more eyeballs so you know and you feel confident in what you're doing. Because that's the problem. There's some business owners that get started all on their own and things are going well, but they have blind spots. They don't see where they need to be doing things. So just make sure that you are utilizing any resources, paid and unpaid, that you have at your fingertips so that you can get this thing rolling as soon as possible, because that's the biggest problem I see, whether you start it part-time or full-time, as you drag out and stall the success that you could be experiencing and the money that you could be making. Is that making sense? So, what's the remedy for getting support is to utilize all your resources, paid and unpaid. And if you feel like you have no one to help you, please come into Grow Getters. I would love to help you. Make sure you register your interest below, because if I'm not open right now, I'll be open later, and then you can be the first to know when doors open. And also, every now and then, I will do a private opening, meaning I'll accept new members, but it won't be something publicly known. I'll just email the people that have registered their interest. So make sure you register your interest right now. You can click the link below. That's something that you want to consider. So you have group coaching, you have lifetime access. You can ask questions anytime. You can get feedback on whatever you're doing. You have help. You have a community of women who are building their businesses too. Okay? Just don't go about this alone. That's just what I want to say, because you can get stuck in your own world thinking you're doing things right and you may not be. Okay? I just want to make sure that you're building this thing effectively and quickly. Right? Okay, so let's review these again, class. Okay, number one, how miserable am I? That's what you're going to ask yourself. And then depending on that, you're going to set a date that you can put in your notice and leave. Maybe it's a year out from now. Maybe it's 2 years. Maybe it's 5 years. Maybe it's 2 months. Maybe it's a month. Maybe it's 6 months. What is it? Okay. So kind of play around with that and see how it feels. Does it feel good to say, I'm going to quit next December or whatever? I'm going to quit at the end of the summer. How is it feeling? How is it aligning with your soul right now when you're saying that? Because it's a scary thing. Okay. So the second thing is, can my family survive? Can I pay the bills? And what you need to do, the remedy for that is to map it out on like a Google sheet. Okay. And start figuring it out. Number 3, is this business idea actually a good one? Do I know that people will pay me for this? And is it a good idea? Make sure you go through a validation process. Make sure you know that it is. If you don't have a way of figuring that out, I have the Best Business Idea Workshop. So click the link below and you can get the scoop on that. Okay. It's a low priced offer, but it will totally help you. Okay. Number 4, what are all the things that I need to be doing to get this thing going, whether I do it part-time or full-time? And you need to map that out. You need to map all of that out and just have it before you and go, okay, these are the things. These are the really important things. If I only have part-time hours to do this, and here's everything that I need to do. And if you don't know how to do that, I have the business plan workshop. It's a mini business plan. So it's simple. It's not 890 pages. It's just a handful of pages that works you through a plan with you. And by the end of it, you have a 1-pager that's amazing that you can go, okay, this is the 10,000 foot view. I need to do this, 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 and this. Okay. And it's like an hour workshop. It's great to get this thing rolling. Okay. And then the 5th thing is, what support will I have as I'm starting this and as I'm growing? So start listing out all the resources that you have that you can think of and list those out and have those before you. And then if you have a gap somewhere where you're like, I don't have ongoing help, I could call this person every now and then, but I don't really have ongoing help. I don't really have anyone that can look at what I'm doing and tell me if I'm doing it right. And I don't really know what I should be doing exactly, like my email list, getting my website up, like how do I do that effectively? Then you need to seriously consider Grow Getters, because once you get in, you're in for life, no more worrying. And I also keep your head straight too. You get access to a private podcast as if you haven't heard enough of me already. You get a private podcast called Mindset Matters, where I try to really give you some mental tips and build your mental acuity as you are building this business. So I hope that helps. There's no right answer. There's only the best answer for you at this time in your life after a logical, well thought through decision-making process. And today, I hope these 5 questions that have been posed to you, you can use, you can print them out, get the link below, and start working on that. So you know if this is something worthy of you quitting a job for right now or not. It's a super big question. And I don't envy you because I know that that's hard, but you will make it through. This too shall pass. You will figure this out. And I am excited for you. If you decide to start your business, how awesome is that? So thank you all so much for being here today. This has been a fun one, and know that I love supporting you. And I'm so honored that you're here listening to this, soaking this all in. And I truly hope that it's making a difference in your journey. Okay, that's it. We'll see you next time. Bye now.
Now, this episode may be over, but our relationship does not have to end here. Head on over to KimberlyBrock.com, and yes, you can get more valuable information for your journey. And you know what? You don't need to go through this alone. I would love to help you. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye.